Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in to another Starcraft 2 broadcast. My name is Anaris, and today we're here watching a Terran vs. Zerg between ScizorPKM, spawning down in the 6 o'clock position, Purple Terran, against the Blue Zerg Mark, spawning at the 12 o'clock position. So these players are very far away from each other. We can expect a pretty decently long game, and I'm looking forward to it. Zerg vs. Terran has always been one of my favorite matchups here today, and Metalopolis is a pretty darn fun map as well. For those of you who are not familiar with it, we do have 4 starting positions at 12, 2, 6, and 8. Also do have natural expansions at each main base, which do have wide open areas right there, point of entry, ramp right there, leading up to another expansion. 2 high yields and 2 xel'naga watchtowers, both of which will be very important to control because each player could go down a different route. Now, depending on where the players expand is going to depend on where we see most of the action. A lot of times when spawning positions like this, you'll see where the blue players will see them kind of expand down this way, follow the minimap right about here, and then purple, you're going to see them expand right along this way. Although sometimes you'll see players go for the natural expansion or just go directly for the high yield instead first and then work on it. Because if you do hold this high yield expansion and you establish a nice defensive perimeter here on both lanes, you can essentially take 2 semi-free bases. You do have to watch out though, because there is a large amount of empty space behind these expansions in the northwest and southeast corners, allowing for a lot of aerial harassment. Same thing over here. You do have a little bit of space in these 2 corners of the map, but not nearly as much of a problem because the minerals are tucked away nice and tight in this little corner right here. So we do have Scizor throwing down his barracks and depot at the top of his ramp, going to be walling off. It looks like that's a very common thing to do against Zerg. It's going to provide some natural defense against any sort of Zergling harassment. He's going to have to watch out, though, because Banelings can bust through these supply depots very easy. So we'll keep an eye on the Terran base. Meanwhile, up here, Mark throwing down a spawning pool, but not before throwing down a hatchery. You can see it's about 50% complete, and the gas is going to pop up as well here. The gas is actually taking place down here. Mark trying to deny the Terran player his second gas. So the Terran player actually going with a pretty standard opener right now. Don't really know if he even needed that gas at this point, simply because of the fact that he isn't really, when you're so far away, you generally want to start open with these kind of generic openers. You got the 10 the 10 supply depot, 12 barracks, 13 refinery, and then you get the orbital command around 15 or 16 supply, depending on whether or not you want that marine right off the bat, which usually you do. So that leaves room for pretty much anything the player can go into later. Meanwhile, the Zerg player has successfully established his expansion at his natural base. Zerg players do want to stay one base up their opponent just to make sure they have that superior economy and they can match forces and overcome his opponent. So we'll keep an eye on both the players here, as Mark does have both of his overlords established right here in the middle of the map. One of which actually took a nice bit of damage, and there goes the SCV right there. Couple Marines going to be heading back to base now, as right now neither player controls either of the watchtowers. Zerg may decide to leave one laying here. Now it looks like he's going to bypass that entirely, where Terran down here has an expansion going down, 1 bunker already here. Now the fact that he got this this tech lab on this barracks rather, this is a pretty good move here. It gives them a couple different options, one of which you're seeing right here, getting an early Reaper. That is something that Zerglings are very vulnerable to, as you can witness right here. This one Reaper has taken out 4 Zerglings without any effort whatsoever, leaving these other 2 Marines free to attack this extractor. So Terran may be deciding to take over this extractor to cap it for the gas, or he may just want to leave it there. Either way, he is looking to destroy that. We'll keep an eye on him. Barracks going down here at the expansion. Now, I like this building placement. The barracks, the depot, and the bunker here are all in place to force the Zerg to run around the structures if he wants to attack the main base here. And while he's doing that, he's going to have to run around the bunker, which could be loaded with Marines. We'll keep an eye on his natural expansion. Meanwhile, Overlords coming down here actually escaped the wrath of the Marines. You see they're just heading past them. Very close indeed. A lot of times what you'll see Zerg players do is position an Overlord or 2 near their opponent's base and then sacrifice it in order to gain additional information about what's going on. A couple Reapers are heading out towards the northern portion of the map where the Zerg base is, and right now a lair is on the way, got an Overlord, Zergling speed is on the way, and in terms of army size, 44, Mark is currently capped. Reason for those overlords being built, seeking to remedy that. And 32 for the Terran player. Looking at the income, 37 to 26. So right now, Mark has a clear economic advantage in terms of the mineral, or in terms of the workers. Notice he is also tied up here with the heart, or not tied up, but he has 1 gas more than his opponent. So we'll keep an eye on that, and here come the Reapers. Going to be heading up to the Zerg base right now. Maybe looking to get some free kills. Gotta watch out for that creep, though. Zerg units on the creep are very fast. Even non-upgraded Zerglings on creep can be pretty darn quick and close the gap. And here come the drones trying to absorb some of the damage and push away the Reapers. 1 Reaper does go down. However, some good attentiveness there by Mark allowed him to save the Queen from running off the creep. That's something you want to avoid at all costs. You do not want to have your Queen chasing around a Reaper out here off of the creep, because the Queen will move slow as dirt. Engineering Bay is down, working on the Weapons 1 upgrade. As you see, Terran has capped that second geyser, currently running off of 2. Now, notice how many barracks he has here with reactors. He is really going to be looking to push out these Marines here as soon as possible. And, looks like one of them got stuck right there. That shouldn't be a problem for too much longer. There's the Overseer. And, oh man, it's actually the Overseer is very nice timing on that, because he will see all of the structures here. He knows kind of what he's in store for. And the Overseer is now actually running away from the Marines, very close. Oh man, will he go down? No, he does use the terrain to his advantage, getting back up here. See what he's going to do, just kind of keep an eye on that. Oh, he's going to contaminate the tech lab, stopping the stim pack research just prior to its completion. Don't think that delay is going to have a huge impact on the immediate game, but every second counts here in StarCraft 2, so a couple seconds have gone in the favor of the Zerg, who is expanding over here to the northwest. Now, let's see if he has the army to deal with that right now. 84 to 69. You look at the units, 7 Roaches, and that's it. We don't really count the Queens, so since they're not over here, and the Marines and Marauder are over here ready to deal some damage. Stim pack upgrade is complete. They do not have the concussive shells. Now, these Roaches will be able to hold their own. Problem is, the Marines, they have the combat shield upgrade with stim, so they're going to absorb a lot of damage, more so than they would without the shield. But the thing is, they also have the one damage upgrade, rather, so they're going to do lots of damage here. Now, Mark actually keeping this Overseer alive. I like this guy. It's kind of ballsy here. So here come the Marines and Marauder heading up to this expansion. Once again, Queen slowly making her way here. Here's the stim, going to be engaging the Zerg forces. Roaches taking some damage, having to retreat, realizing these Marines, oh man, taking the Queen down right off the bat. Zerglings giving pursuit, trying to get us around, keep the Marines from running away. Stim has worn off, so the Roaches will be able to finish those off relatively easy. Sure enough, there goes the Marines there. No contest. Zerg continuing to produce the Roaches, man. You look at, we have an Infestation Pit, 14 Zerglings, 1 Queen, got to replace that one that just died, and the Baneling speed upgrade. Banelings would be a great addition to the Zerg army here, and also could be the bane of the Terran's existence. Haha, you see what I did there. In the mineral line, should he nail that? Oh man, look at those Roaches running move command right into the Marines. Going to have to retreat there. Still don't have that concussive shells upgrade, so none of those Roaches are being slowed down. Nonetheless, the Marauders are doing some free damage. Zerg going to be retreating probably up here from the looks of it. Going to want to get to high ground as soon as possible. Terran is continuing to give pursuit, however. Concussive shell upgrade is on the way. Siege tank coming down the line as well as a siege tech. Got a starport as well. Here comes the engagement. Zerg once again sending in the Queen. Here come the Banelings going right into the Marines. It's showtime. It's death time. Once again, the Terran onslaught has been defended against. So we see down here, PKM has transferred most of his SCVs over to his natural expansion, and also right here, kind of balancing out the workload between the 3 different mineral lines. SCV heading over here. Oh man, just past 4 Banelings. Very close. Now, notice that this planetary fortress is complete, so you're probably not going to see these Banelings that get in here and do a lot of damage, especially since you do have 2 Marauders here. Yep, sure enough, these Marauders are going to absorb the attack. Nice micro by PKM absorbing that. Zerg on the offensive. Going to be heading down here towards the natural, sending his Zerglings in. 2 free kills for the Terran player right there. Moving in some more Zergling reinforcements here. He's going to have to be very careful. This army has a lot of damage potential. Armor 1 is on the way. as well as another reactor here. You see he's also building 2 additional barracks. He's working on 2 factories as well. So once his infrastructure is really up to par, he is going to make some very strong pushes against the Zerg player, who right now is still working on expanding, focusing on getting the production up. 15 banelings are on the way. There's that armor level 1 coming in for the land units. Uh-oh, Infestor's right here. Very vulnerable. Fungal growth has landed on the Marines. Here come the banelings. Marines cannot do a damn thing. Now they can. Run it away here. Will the banelings actually go down? Oh, nice last-second burrow there by Mark. The Roaches are here to finish off the attack. Once again, save the day. Terran moving out again, this time with a siege tank. Uh-oh. Infestor running right underneath it. He sees what's going on. He decides to come up early. All right, well, probably think he could do a fungal growth or something, but then probably cast it out of range. That's going to be my guess here. And the banelings are going to go once again down to the Marines. Another fungal growth has landed. Siege tank way far away from the front line. Looking to take out this expansion. Got 1 SCV, probably just scouting to make sure there's nothing up here. Don't think Terran will be looking to expand at this exact moment in time. Like how Zerg has the Overlords and Zerglings positioned at different areas around the Terran side of the map, just to make sure there's no additional expansions. And now Zerg is moving in here with the Zerglings. However, the Infestors throwing down some infested Terrans from the backside of the Siege Tank. Siege Tank cannot do anything about it, but will the Marines be able to kill those infested Terrans in time before the Siege Tank goes down? Roaches come in to finish it off. Terran going for another attack here, bringing 2 different waves. Uh-oh, banelings moving in. 1 baneling destroyed. Another one. Oh, wow, I cannot believe how ineffective those banelings were. Just running all over the place, not actually attacking a darn thing, while the Roaches try to finish off that wave, but are reinforced. Number Terran is reinforced, rather. Uh-oh, Zerg coming over here, trying to put on some additional pressure. Banelings taking out a lot of those infantry. Siege tank is forced to retreat. Meanwhile, a dropship is headed out. 6 Marines heading over towards the northern portion of the map. We do see just barely out of range those infested Terrans who do have reduced visual range while burrowed. A couple banelings there burrowed as well at the high yield expansion. Very nice play, very sexy move. Here comes the drop from Scizor, dropping the Marines in the base, 1 at a time. Just out of range of any key structures. It looks like he might work on that Overlord. So very close. Bringing it back inside, hitting the stem, medevac doing her thing, and the evolution chamber will go down. Oh man, will it go down before the upgrade completes? So very close. Yes, it does. Weapons 1 denied for the Zerglings here today. Zerg expanding right here. Another drop, taking it out by Terran. Good stuff. Hitting the stem, trying to get over here to reinforce and do a little bit more damage. May look to meet up with this group of people here. We do have 2 siege tanks, pretty marauder heavy in this particular group. Zerglings engaging here, us away from the rest of the Roaches. Probably not the best thing to happen right there, having the force split like that, but there's the fungal growth keeping those forces in place. Marines do have the high ground with the medevac. Zerg is forced to retreat, just does not have the numbers to deal with this force right now. Spire is on the way, as well as a hive. Zerg has a few different options late game to deal with this force, but right now he is facing an immediate threat at both of his expansions, responding by sending a lot of Roaches and some Zerglings up the ramp here. Terran doing a good thing, loading up his dropship with the remainder of his forces. Zerglings cannot do anything to that. And almost losing that queen once again. Oh man, if I were those Marines, I'd want to just drop down and kill that thing so very badly. See what's going to happen with that dropship here, heading over into this expansion. Only 2 Marines though, so he's going to have to watch out for that. Yep, not a lot going to happen here. Yeah, those Marines are going to die super quick. Zerg doesn't have a ton of anti-air, so that dropship might actually get away, unless the Terran just decides to flat out ignore it, which might be the case. Oh wow, very close, forcing that queen up to the top of the base there. Terran moving out again. 1 siege tank in this group, couple marauders. Stemmed up marauders do a ton of damage to the Roaches. Uh-oh, here come the banelings and the infestor heading right towards the army. Oh, that could have ended so much better for the Zerg, but he sent those units on the move command, didn't cast or anything. Banelings tried to do some damage, just could not get in there to do it though. You look at the upgrades now, 2 weapons, 1 armor. So this is a very dangerous infantry force coming up here to attack the extra hatchery here, and also work on the mineral line, knocking out the gas for Mark. Mark's options are starting to become limited here. He's having to expend so much money defending these expansions and ultimately losing them a couple different times that, you know, Terran's really just showing he's got this game under wraps so far. But the Zerg could make a fantastic comeback. He still is in the game. He's got this expansion right here. This one doesn't have any workers. They have some Marines coming over here from the dropship, trying to do a bunch of damage. We'll see how that goes, though. We see there's the drop from Scizor up in the top, going to heal up his forces, and engage the Zerg up here at the top of the ramp. Oh, wow, look at that, coming right back on down. Medevac just being left there, not too sure what's going on with that. Probably just forgot about it. More purple is on the way. There goes that attack. Zerg just doesn't have anything to deal with these dropships right now, relying on Zerglings, Banelings, and Roaches to deal with Marines and siege tanks. Oh man, that was asking for a Baneling hit right there, but the Terran did a good thing, moving his Marines out nice and spread out. Once again, that expansion has gone down. Mark actually loading up his Overlords with the drones. Going to try to save what he can. Probably a good thing to saturate this as he burrows his drones up here. Alright, well I don't see anything attacking them, but hey, we'll just go with it here. As look at the income tab, I'll tell you what, man. I'm going to be honest with you, this is really looking like it's going to go the way of the Terran player. I'm not seeing anywhere for the Zerg to come back from this 400 to 2400. Terran just has superior production. Look at that, 5 more barracks being placed down. Going to be going for Marines and Marauders. That's going to be a fungal growth landing on the infantry. Another fungal growth just before that infestor died. Meanwhile, the Mutalisks finally on the field. It's a bit too late though, man. All these Marines here ready to do plenty of damage, guard the siege tanks while they do move up. Terran looks to make his final push here, maybe, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not too sure, but like I said before, it's not looking good at all for the Zerg player. Banelings charging right at the siege tanks. Roach is actually just running right along, doing their own thing too. Banelings finally hit the Marine line, knocking out a good number of those, but at what cost, man? Terran has got this in the bag. I don't like calling games before the GG, but at this point in the game, you know, we just see that he's just got so much more income, so much more production. Zerg doesn't have any hopes for outmaneuvering his opponent, knocking out key structures. It's just going to be over. So we'll see the Terran player continue to knock out this expansion, forcing the Zerg back down on the high yield, which is now being taken out by a Marauder Marine siege tank force. Here come those drones. Long distance mining now, going to be running directly into the line of one Marauder. That's okay there. They don't care. They're not afraid of anything. Brave little drones that they are. Here comes the Mutas, going to be engaging the Marines, trying to pick off a couple extra anywhere he can. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't GG'd out yet, but he must think he's still in the game here with his natural expansion. Don't think he's very aware of just the production capabilities for the Terran player. Now, he hasn't seen the latest, so there's the GG from Mark. Very well played from both players. However, the Terran really made that strong push and just kept at it the entire game, keeping the Zerg on the defensive, not letting him build up his forces, and we have it here today, folks. So thank you for tuning in, and I will try to get more games out as soon as possible. All right, I'm out.